I'm here today with Olia Kanodi, Managing Director of African Oasis Safaris, to talk about sustainability. What does sustainable travel mean to you?
Sustainable travel, when I think about it, when we think about it, it's part of overall ecosystem, right? None of us exist in silos. All of us are guests on this planet. And when we go and visit places, whether it's seeing wildlife or visiting communities, the goal is not to leave a trace, right? Not necessarily leave your footprint, but leave it in a way that you found it. So other generations, your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, many generations to come can enjoy the same experience that you are having. There are a lot of species that are becoming extinct, right? And they are becoming extinct because of us humans. And part of sustainable travel is actually conservation and putting efforts into protecting wildlife. And although we want to show clients wildlife, and that's why they're coming to Kenya, that's what Africa associates with for many of our clients. Perfect. Let's go and see wildlife, but let's not leave a trace. Let's not damage that wildlife. Let's not get into its face. We are a guest. So when you're coming to somebody's home, you don't necessarily behave like you're at home. And it's an important thing to keep in mind that when you're visiting animals, it's their home, right? So behave accordingly. So to us, that's part of sustainable travel, that conservation effort. While it's on safari and coaching you a little bit through behaviors that are appropriate or not, all of our guides and drivers know what to do and not to do when it comes to wildlife. And step two, same thing with communities. We do not want to change anything. We may have our opinions about how things should be, but at the same time, these communities, they're ancient and they have a wonderful culture, and we're there to see it, we're there to learn from it, but not necessarily to change it. Or if there is a change, let's be positive change agents, but not impose anything that is not necessarily welcome there or makes it something different from what it was meant to be. So that's what sustainable travel is to us at AOS.
Are safaris safe and ethical?
And I would say they go hand in hand. And the reasons that I say that, when we think about ethical practices, especially in terms of wildlife, right? What are ethical practices? They would have to do, how do you behave around wildlife? When you see a lion, how close can you get to it? And it's not, yes, safety first, but also it's safety of that lion, right? As I just mentioned, we are a guest. So stay a safe distance, do not disturb whatever they are doing, however they are behaving. Watch, observe, take photos, but don't necessarily do anything that would be intrusive. And I think if you follow that rule, yes, it's ethical, but at the same time, it's safe for you. So some of the safety rules that will always be present on safari, you absolutely cannot leave the vehicle. So that's a huge no-no. You don't want to be eaten by the lion, and you do not want to disturb the lion. All of the vehicles, you can stand up, there are open roofs, there are open windows, you can take all the photos that you want, and trust me, the photos are amazing, but you will not be able to leave the vehicle unless you're having, let's say, a bush dinner or a bush breakfast, and it's a safe environment where you can stay safe distance, again, for your own safety, but also for the protection of wildlife.
What kind of immersive cultural experiences does AOS offer?
Your wish is our command, but some of the highlights, as I mentioned before, Kenya has 43 ethnic communities, and again, all of them, although they're all African communities, they are slightly unique, they're slightly different, they speak different dialects, slightly different language, they dress differently, they have different rituals, they have different traditions. So some of the highlights in terms of cultural experiences, you can do dancing with Maasai, you can play games with Samburu, you can go fishing with Turkana community. You can experience a day in the life of a child literally with any community we visit if you have any preference in terms of ethnic communities that you want to see. But basically, just experience a little part of their lives, whether it's doing a very specific ritual with the community or doing a specific activity, cooking, taking care of the house, going and attending to sheep and cows with kids. All of those are possible, and all of those are the experiences that we do offer. Outside of traditional cultural experiences with ethnic communities, we also offer experiences with Kenyan homesteads. So you do have an ability to, let's say, to stay at a tea farm and live for a few days with a family who has a tea plantation and they're growing tea, and you can definitely experience their lifestyle. You can learn how to pick tea and what's involved, and see the life on the farm in Kenya.